I like that one.
Just argue about Justin Bieber.
Exactly. So let's do that, shall we? So he's been arrested again. That's twice in 1 week for the Biebs. He's been slogging through a swarm of fans and paparazzi last night, turning himself into the police. Everyone said, well, yeah, how did all those people know he was about to get arrested? Gee, I wonder. He faces assault charges after an alleged altercation with a limo driver that happened back in December. This arrest is just 1 week after the police in Miami picked him up for DUI and assorted other things. Meantime, a petition to have him deported from the United States topped 100,000 signatures, and that means that officially the White House must sort of pay attention to it. They have to consider that as a possibility. So let's bring in our legal experts and find out what's going to happen to Justin Bieber. Arthur Idall is a former prosecutor, criminal defense attorney, and a Fox News legal analyst. Brian Claypool is a criminal defense attorney. So, Brian, let's start with you. How do you defend the Biebs?
Well, the good news here, Martha, is we do have a criminal justice system. And in Justin Bieber's situation, he turns 18, he's getting in loads of trouble, he's not listening to his parents, he's not listening to his friends, but the criminal justice system is like a surrogate parent here, and he is going to have to listen. He's going to have to answer these charges and these crimes, and it may ultimately take him serving some jail time to get him to turn his life around. I mean, right now, it's like a little bonfire of trouble for him. He's not going to be convicted of a felony, but unless he gets this under control quick, this could turn into a raging inferno and go completely out of control.
You know, but so far, Arthur, I mean, they've basically sort of, patted him and said, okay, go on your merry way. Okay. I mean, does this look like it's taken a more serious turn in terms of the charges that are leveled against him in any one of these myriad of cases?
It's not really the charges, Martha. It's more the multiple events. This is exactly what I do. Seriously, day in and day out, this is what I do.
You defend Justin Bieber.
I defend people like Justin Bieber. I defend people who are 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and they have parents behind them. And what I do is I sit them down and I say, listen, you're on an express train to the wrong direction. So here's what we're going to do. I'll be able to keep you out of jail. I may be able to keep you from having a criminal record, but I can only help you if you want to help yourself. Yeah. So your parents aren't exactly disciplining you the way that you need to be disciplined. So you're going to go to a life therapy counselor who I'm going to recommend you to, and you've got to go to him. And if you don't pay attention to him or her, then I'm stepping back. I'm giving your parents the money back. And you go with whatever attorney you want who's going to let you watch your life spiral out of control and wind up like another tragic story we read about in the news every day.
So you're both telling me that this is more in the psychological, behavioral realm than it is in the realm of anything very serious in terms of a possible felony charges that he could be seriously put away for. Is that right, Brian?
That's true, Martha, but here's another important point. Even though these are all misdemeanors, the charges in Florida are all misdemeanors.
The egg throwing,
the charge in Toronto
and the drag racing, just to remind everybody what we're talking about here, he is accused of vandalizing somebody's home to the tune of $20,000 with an egg throwing incident. The one in Toronto that he just got brought in for last night is being accused of hitting a limo driver on the back of the head to the point where the guy got out of the car and called the police and said, I'm not driving this car anymore. You guys got to come down here and check the situation out. And then there was some other stuff that happened in California. Go ahead, Brian.
Right, and the charge, Martha, in Toronto is a summary offense, tantamount to a misdemeanor. But here's the point. Even if he cops a no-contest plea and he doesn't serve jail time on any of these charges, he will be subject to terms of probation. They're going to be very restrictive for his behavior.
Yeah, we've seen how that works out with Lindsay Lohan. That is so strict. Nobody gets to go out and party. Nobody gets to walk around with an ankle bracelet like it's a piece of jewelry.
Well, it's also California. In California, their probation system seems to be a little bit more lax than other parts of the country.
Well, you know what? I can't let you guys go without asking you this one other question about the White House and this petition. 100,000 people have signed this saying that he needs to be deported. Arthur, big deal?
No,
Will that
I don't
happen?
think it's a big deal. It just shows you, though, Martha, his popularity, because that petition got circulated and got 100,000 signatures pretty quickly, which just means, he's a force to be reckoned with. Martha, I'm really afraid for the kid. I really am, because I see kids like him. It doesn't seem like he's heavily into drugs, but the Lamborghini, I mean, it doesn't take much to wrap that around a pole and die. It doesn't just put himself in a bad situation. One of these kids is going to have a gun who he hangs out with, and then he's just going to be another headline and another sad story he'll be covering.
Yeah, it sounds from the nature of these stories like he's hanging around with some folks that he really shouldn't be hanging around with, and that once you're the big moneymaker for your family, it's pretty tough for you to say, okay, Mom, I'll start to behave myself. It gets very complicated in terms of the family dynamic. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, Arthur. As
Thanks,
always,
Martha.
good to see you both.
Thank you, Mark.
Looking forward to that White House.